With members of Russia's fragile opposition dead, jailed or sent into exile, Vladimir Putin keeps a firm grip on its political system. His three opponents on the ballot stand no chance. Polls show the majority of Russians are behind Putin's candidacy and support his policies, including the war in Ukraine, referred to as a special military operation.
He has confidence, charisma, good international connections. It's clear that he's succeeded as president. The remaining candidates are not able to continue and complete the special military operation.
Our mothers, aunts, grandmothers, the older generation support him the most. They've seen worse times.
He is a man of his word. We trust him and thank him for the fact that we live here in peace.
State TV repeatedly shows a strong, energetic and young-looking Putin who's been ramping up his pre-election activities. Most Russians firmly believe his rhetoric.
The so-called West, with its colonial habits, with its ability of inciting national conflicts all over the world, seeks not only to restrain our development, but they need a dependent, fading, dying Russia.
Despite the Russian economy largely withstanding Western sanctions, living standards are deteriorating.
Defence spending for 2024 is growing so fast that it's pushing aside almost all other priorities. And with inflation also rising, wages and pensions aren't keeping pace. That's hitting the most vulnerable the hardest. And imminent tax reforms are also expected to further reduce incomes for the rest of the population.
Despite most protests being banned, many still demonstrate openly. Wives and mothers of reservists sent to the front have spent months demanding their return, and tens of thousands of people queued for hours to leave their signatures promoting the only anti-war presidential nominee, Boris Nadezhdin. His name didn't end up on the ballot. They also said their last goodbyes to opposition leader Alexei Navalny, who died in an Arctic prison last month, lining up at his grave for many kilometers. Now remaining opposition voices have called on Russians to turn up at polling stations at the same time on noon of the last voting day and vote for any other candidate but Putin or spoil their ballot. Navalny's widow Yulia also asked his supporters to join the protest.
The most important thing is to come. This is a very simple and safe action. It cannot be prohibited. And it will help millions to see like-minded people and realize that we are not alone. We're surrounded by people who are also against war, against corruption and against lawlessness.
The presidential administration would prefer not to see such mass dissent, but now it has to figure out how to deal with it, as they can't declare the planned simultaneous arrival of voters at polling stations unlawful. Yulia, Shapovalova, Al Jazeera, Moscow.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.